What if the way you wake up each morning is quietly shaping the happiness of your entire life? Most people wake already pulled outward by phones, by worries, by the weight of what must be done before they have even arrived in themselves. The eyes open, but the mind is already elsewhere. The body rises, but the heart has not yet returned. And so, the day begins from a place of absence. Not presence, not peace, just movement without ground beneath it. This is not a video about productivity, not about doing more or becoming better. It is not about optimizing your morning or winning the day. It is about something quieter than that, something the world does not often speak about, but that you may have been feeling for a long time. It is about beginning the day without resistance so that life does not have to be fought from the very first moment. Morning is not for preparing to face the world. It is for returning to yourself before the world begins to speak. In the next few minutes, I will walk with you through 10 simple Buddhist rituals, not rules, not disciplines, just gentle ways of meeting the morning that can protect your peace and bring you back to wholeness. You do not need to do them all. You do not need to do them perfectly. Just stay with me. Breathe once. And let us begin slowly. Together. 1. Do not let the world be the first thing that enters your mind. You wake. And before you have even felt the weight of your own body in the bed, your hand is already reaching. Not for water, not for breath, but for the phone. The screen glows in the dim room, and within seconds, the world is inside you. News, messages, notifications, the lives of others, the problems you cannot solve, the comparisons you did not ask for, and you have not yet even said good morning to yourself. This is how most days begin now. Not with presence, but with intrusion. Not with stillness, but with noise that enters before you have arrived. The body knows. The breath knows. Somewhere inside, you feel it, the low hum of anxiety that begins before the day has even started. The sense that you are already behind, already responding, already needed elsewhere. The Buddha once said that the mind untrained is like a monkey swinging from branch to branch, never resting, always grasping. In the morning, when you reach for the phone before you reach for yourself, you are handing that monkey the entire forest, and it will swing all day. There is an old Zen story about a monk who woke each morning in complete darkness. He would sit upright in his bed and place both hands over his heart. He would breathe 3 times. Only then would he light the candle. Only then would he open the door. His students asked him why he did this, and he said, "Because the world is loud, and if I do not meet myself first, I will spend the entire day as a stranger." Peace in the morning does not come from adding more information. It comes from protecting the first few moments of awareness from everything that wants to take them from you. You do not owe the world your attention the instant you open your eyes. You do not owe anyone your worry, your comparison, your reaction, not yet. Not before you have even felt your own breath. The quality of your inner life is shaped not by the big decisions you make, but by the small doorways you walk through each day. And the morning is the first doorway. If you walk through it already fragmented, the rest of the day will carry that fracture forward. But if you pause, if you let yourself arrive before the world arrives, you give yourself a chance to begin from wholeness instead of depletion. Think of your mind in the morning as a still pool of water. When you reach for the phone immediately, It is like throwing stones into that water before you have even seen its surface. The ripples begin, and they do not stop. But if you pause, if you simply notice the stillness first, you give yourself the gift of clarity before the disturbance. So, tomorrow morning, try this. When you wake, do not move toward anything outside yourself. Let your eyes open. Feel the weight of your body against the mattress. Notice the breath moving in and out without effort. Place one hand on your chest if it helps. And ask yourself quietly, am I here? Stay in that question for 10 breaths. Let the world wait. It will still be there. But you still be here when the day begins. 2. Let the breath be where you arrive before going anywhere. You sit up in bed, and already the mind is moving. What needs to be done today? What was left unfinished yesterday? The conversation you need to have. The worry that never quite goes away. And beneath it all, there is this quiet tension in the chest. This feeling that you are always slightly behind, always needing to catch up to something you cannot name. This is the exhaustion that no amount of sleep can fix. Because it is not the body that is tired. It is the constant effort of trying to control what cannot be controlled. The endless inner work of managing, anticipating, preventing, fixing, and the breath, the one thing that has been with you since the moment you were born, goes unnoticed. Suffering begins when the mind insists everything must be held together by thinking. That if you stop planning, stop worrying, everything will fall apart. And so you wake up already gripping, already bracing, already far away from the only place where peace has ever lived, right here, in the rise and fall of your own breath. There was once a student who came to a Zen master and said, I cannot quiet my mind. I have tried everything. Meditation does not work for me. The master smiled and said, when you breathe in, do you tell the lungs how to expand? When you breathe out, do you instruct the air how to leave? The student said no, and the master replied, then you already know how to let go. You do it 18,000 times a day. You have just forgotten to notice. You do not need to control your life. You do not need a perfect plan or answers to every question that keeps you awake at night. You only need to return to the breath. Not as a technique, not as something you do in order to achieve calm, but as a place you can always come home to when the mind has wandered too far. Think of the breath as the threshold of a doorway. On one side is the endless noise of trying to manage everything. On the other side is the quiet knowing that you are alive, that you are here, that this moment is enough. You can return, again and again, breath by breath. So this morning, before you begin solving or planning or worrying, sit for a moment where you are. Place one hand on your belly if it helps you feel the movement. Breathe in, and know that you are breathing in. Breathe out, and know that you are breathing out. No counting. No trying to make it deeper or slower or better. Just breathing and knowing you are breathing. What if peace is not something you create, but something you remember? What if it has been with you all along, waiting quietly in the space between one breath and the next? 3. Begin with intention, not obligation. You stand in the kitchen in the early light, and already there is a list forming in your mind. The things that must be done, the people who are waiting. And beneath the list, there is a heaviness, a tightness in the shoulders, a sense that the day is something to be survived rather than lived. The question that shapes your morning is always the same. What must I do today? And that question, quiet as it is, turns the day into a debt you owe before you have even taken your first step. This is the hidden suffering of obligation. Not the doing itself, but the way you meet it already resigned, already under pressure, already measuring yourself against an invisible standard that says you are only worthy if you complete everything perfectly. And so the day begins not from choice, but from demand. The Buddha spoke often about right intention, about the quality of mind with which we meet each moment. He understood that the same action done with resentment creates suffering, while the same action done with clarity creates peace. It is not what you do that shapes your inner life. It is how you choose to carry it. There is a story of a monk who swept the temple courtyard every morning. One day, a visitor asked him, "Do you sweep because you must, or because you wish to?" The monk paused, leaning on his broom, and said, "I sweep because I have chosen to care for this place. The courtyard does not demand it. My teacher does not demand it. I offer it." The visitor said, "But is that not the same thing?" And the monk smiled. "No. One makes me small. The other makes me whole." You do not have to approach your day as a series of obligations that shrink you. You can begin with intention instead, not by adding more to your list, not by setting grand goals, but by asking a different question in the quiet of the morning. How do I wish to move through this day? Not what must I do, but how do I wish to be while I am doing it? Think of intention as the difference between a river that is dammed and a river that flows. When you begin the day with obligation, you are damming the current, holding it back, forcing it into narrow channels. There is effort, but no ease. But when you begin with intention, you are allowing the river to remember its own nature. You are choosing the direction, and that small shift from must to wish, from pressure to purpose, changes everything. So this morning, before the list takes over, sit for a moment and choose one quality you wish to carry with you. Not a task, not a goal, just a way of being. Patience, gentleness, presence, kindness. Say it quietly to yourself, as if you are making a promise not to the world, but to your own heart. What would change if you stopped asking what you must do and began asking how you wish to be? 4. Simple order outside brings ease inside. You walk through the bedroom, and the bed is unmade behind you, the sheets still tangled from the night. There are clothes draped over the chair, a water glass on the nightstand, half empty from yesterday. Small things, nothing that matters, you tell yourself. And yet, as you move through the room, there is a subtle disquiet that follows you, a sense of incompleteness you cannot quite name. Most people never notice this, but the mind notices. The mind feels it. And somewhere beneath your awareness, the scattered objects around you become a mirror for the scattered feeling inside you. The Buddha understood that the mind and the environment are not separate. He taught his students to care for their robes, to keep their bowls clean, to arrange their sitting spaces with attention. Not because cleanliness is holiness, but because the outer world shapes the inner world in ways we do not always see. When the space around you is in disarray, the mind learns disarray. There is an old Zen saying, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water, After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. A student once asked a master what this meant, and the master said, "It means that awakening does not take you away from ordinary life. It returns you to it. The difference is that now you are fully here while you are chopping. The wood is still wood. The water is still water. But you are no longer absent. Peace is not created through extraordinary acts. It is created through ordinary actions done with full attention. Making the bed is not about having a tidy room. It is about beginning the day with one small act of care, one gesture that says, 'I am here, and I am tending to my life.' Washing your face is about meeting your own reflection with gentleness, about feeling the cool water on your skin and remembering that you have a body, that you are alive. Preparing tea in silence is about the slowness, the ritual, the way your hands move without hurry, the way the steam rises, and you are there to see it. Think of these small acts as stones placed carefully in a river. One stone does not change the current, but many stones, placed with intention, can create a path where there was only rushing water. So this morning, choose one thing, just one. Make the bed before you leave the room. Wash your face slowly, feeling the water. Prepare your tea without distraction, noticing each movement, and as you do it, let it be enough. What if the life you are waiting to live is already here, hidden in the small things you have been overlooking? 5. Care for the body as the first home of the mind. You wake, and the body speaks to you in its quiet language. A stiffness in the neck, an ache in the lower back, a heaviness in the knees that was not there 10 years ago. And the first instinct is to ignore it, to push past it, to tell yourself that you do not have time for this. You move quickly through the morning standing, dressing, rushing because the body feels like an inconvenience, a limitation, something that slows you down when you need to keep up. This is the quiet abandonment that happens in small moments. Not a dramatic rejection of the body, but a steady turning away from it. And over time, this turning away becomes a kind of forgetting. You forget that the body is not separate from you. You forget that every thought, every feeling, every moment of awareness lives inside this breathing, aging, tender form. The Buddha taught that the body is the first foundation of mindfulness. Not the breath alone, not the mind alone, but the body, this immediate, undeniable presence. You cannot find peace by abandoning the very ground you stand on. The body holds everything. It holds your history, your grief, the tension you did not know you were carrying, the exhaustion you have been ignoring. There is a story of an old monk who was asked by a younger student why he moved so slowly in the mornings. The young monk said, "We have much to do. Why do you waste time stretching and walking as if you have nowhere to be?" The old monk smiled and said, "I move slowly because this body has carried me for 70 years. It has walked me through sorrow and joy, through winter and summer, through every breath I have ever taken. If I do not care for it now, I am being cruel to the only home I have ever known." What's strange is that we treat caring for the body as vanity or self-indulgence. But caring for the body is the most basic act of self-compassion, the recognition that you are a living being who deserves gentleness. Especially as the years pass and the body begins to ask for more care, not less. The stiffness you feel in the morning is not a failure. It is the body telling you it needs attention. Think of the body as a tree. When a tree is young, it bends easily in the wind. But as it ages, it becomes less flexible, more vulnerable to storms. And yet, the tree does not stop being a tree. It simply requires different care. You do not demand that an old tree move as it did when it was young. You honor its age. You support its roots. Your body is no different. So, this morning, before you rush into the day, take a few moments to care for the body as you would care for something precious. Stand and stretch gently, feeling where the tightness lives. Move your neck slowly from side to side. Roll your shoulders. Walk a few steps without hurry, noticing the contact of your feet with the ground. What if the body is not something to overcome, but something to come home to? 6. Consume less. Notice more. You sit with your coffee in the morning, and within minutes, you have already consumed more than your grandparents might have encountered in an entire day. News from across the world. Opinions you did not ask for. Images of lives that are not yours. Tragedies you cannot prevent. And beneath the surface of all this information, there is a feeling you may not even name, a kind of hollowness, a restlessness, a sense that no matter how much you take in, it is never quite enough. This is the suffering of overload. Not the suffering of lacking something you need, but the suffering of being given far more than you can hold. The mind was not designed for this. It was not made to absorb the pain of the entire world before breakfast, to compare your quiet life to the curated highlights of 1,000 others. The grasping is subtle. It is the demand that consuming more will finally satisfy. But satisfaction does not come from more. It comes from less. It comes from the courage to stop filling yourself and start noticing what is already here. The Buddha spoke of the middle way, the path between indulgence and deprivation, and we often think of indulgence as pleasure, as excess in food or comfort. But there is another kind of indulgence we rarely talk about, the indulgence of information, of stimulation, of constant input. We believe we are staying informed, staying connected. But what we are really doing is abandoning direct experience in favor of mediated experience. There is a Zen teaching about a monk who lived near a busy road. Travelers would stop and tell him news from distant cities, wars, scandals, victories, losses. One day, a merchant asked him, "Do you not want to know what is happening in the world?" The monk looked at the trees, the sky, the light on the stones, and said, "I am watching the world happen right here. I do not need to know everything in order to live well. I only need to know this moment fully." It's easy to miss this. Unhappiness often comes not from lacking information, but from drowning in it. You do not need to know everything that is happening everywhere in order to live a good life. What you need is space. Space to breathe. Space to feel. Space to return to the life that is actually in front of you, the one you can touch and tend and live inside of. Think of your attention as a garden. If you plant too many seeds, too close together, nothing grows well. The soil is depleted. The plants compete. Everything becomes tangled and weak. But if you choose carefully what to plant, if you leave space between the seeds, the garden becomes a place of beauty and nourishment. So this morning, practice restraint. Delay the news for 1 hour. Put the phone in another room. Do not fill the silence with podcasts or endless scrolling. Instead, sit with your coffee and notice the warmth of the cup in your hands. Look out the window and see what the light is doing. Listen to the sounds around you, the hum of the refrigerator, the birds outside, the quiet breath of your own body. What if peace is not found by knowing more, but by needing less? 7. Offer kindness to yourself before offering it to the world. You look in the mirror in the morning, and the first thing that rises is not kindness. It is judgment. The lines around your eyes, the tiredness in your face, the way your body has changed. And then the thoughts begin quiet, relentless, familiar. You should have done more yesterday. You should be further along by now. You should be better, stronger, more together than this. This is the quiet cruelty that happens in the privacy of your own mind. Not loud, not dramatic, just a steady stream of criticism. A voice that measures you against an impossible standard and finds you lacking every single time. And the strange thing is, you would never speak to another person the way you speak to yourself. The Buddha taught about metta, about loving kindness. And he said to begin with yourself. Not because you are more important than others, but because you cannot offer from an empty vessel. If you do not know how to meet yourself with tenderness, you will not know how to meet the world with tenderness. Your kindness to others will become a performance, a duty, something you do because you should, not because it flows naturally from a heart that has been cared for. There is a story of a monk who was known for his gentleness with everyone he met. One day, a student asked him, "How do you stay so kind, even when people are difficult?" The monk placed a hand on his own chest and said, "Because I begin here. Every morning, before I speak to anyone, I place my hand over my heart and I say, 'You are doing your best. You are allowed to be imperfect. You are worthy of care.' If I do not say this to myself, I forget it is true. And if I forget it is true for me, I forget it is true for everyone. No one really teaches us how to do this. A day that begins with self-judgment rarely becomes peaceful, because that judgment does not stay contained. It leaks into everything. It makes you defensive. It makes you harsh. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of striving and failing and striving again, always reaching for an approval that never comes. Think of self-kindness as the soil in which everything else grows. If the soil is hard and dry and full of stones, nothing can take root. But if the soil is soft, if it has been tended with care, then patience can grow there. Compassion can grow there. Peace can grow there. So this morning, before you step into the day, take a moment to offer yourself what you so freely give to others. Place a hand on your chest, or your belly, or wherever you can feel the warmth of your own body, and say something simple, something true. You are here. You are trying. You are allowed to be imperfect. What if the kindness you are searching for in the world is something you have to give yourself first? 8. Remember impermanence and let it soften you. You sit at the table in the morning light, and everything seems so solid, so permanent. The chair beneath you, the cup in your hand, the people you love, still sleeping in the other room, the routines you have built, the plans you have made. And there is a quiet comfort in this feeling of permanence, this belief that what is here now will still be here tomorrow. But somewhere beneath this comfort, there is also a tension, a grasping, a fear that whispers, "What if it all disappears?" This is the suffering that comes from forgetting, not forgetting facts or appointments, but forgetting the deepest truth of existence, that nothing lasts. Not the pain, not the joy, not this body, not this moment. Everything you see, everything you touch, everything you love it is already changing, already slipping away, already becoming something else. The Buddha taught that all conditioned things are impermanent, that this is not a flaw in the design of life, but the very nature of it. He did not say this to frighten people or to make them despair. He said it to free them. Because when you truly understand that nothing is guaranteed, that this moment is all you ever really have, you stop wasting your life waiting for the perfect time to be kind, to be present, to live with your whole heart. There is a story of a Zen master who kept a small bowl on his desk. Inside the bowl was a note that read, "You will die." His students found this unsettling, even morbid. One day, a student asked him, "Why do you keep this reminder of death where you can see it every day?" The master smiled and said, "So I do not forget to live. So I do not waste my precious hours on anger, on pettiness, on waiting for someday. Death is not the enemy. Forgetting is the enemy. The quiet truth is this: impermanence is not a threat. It is not something to fear or resist. It is an invitation to live gently, because harshness takes too much time and you do not have time to waste. An invitation to forgive quickly, because holding on to resentment only steals from your own fleeting days. An invitation to notice the small beauties, the light on the wall, the warmth of the tea, the sound of someone you love laughing in the next room, because these moments will not return. Think of your life as a river. You cannot step into the same river twice, because the water is always moving, always changing. And you are also the river. Everything is in motion. And when you try to hold the river still, when you try to make it stay exactly as it is, you create suffering. But when you let yourself move with it, when you stop clinging and start witnessing, something softens. So this morning, take a quiet moment and place your hand over your heart. Feel it beating. And remember, this heartbeat is not guaranteed. This breath is not guaranteed. This day, this moment, none of it is permanent. And because it is not permanent, it is precious. What if remembering that nothing lasts is not a reason to despair, but a reason to finally stop delaying your own kindness? 9. Begin the day in silence so your inner voice can return. You wake, and immediately the noise begins. Not from the world outside, but from the world inside. The thoughts arrive before you have even opened your eyes fully. What needs to be done? What was left undone? The conversation you need to have. The worry that never quite leaves. And beneath all of this noise, there is a quieter voice, a deeper knowing, but you cannot hear it. You have not heard it in so long that you have almost forgotten it exists. This is the forgetting that happens when silence is never allowed to return. Not the forgetting of facts or details, but the forgetting of yourself, your own intuition, your own clarity, your own deep inner knowing. We live in a world that worships noise. Noise as productivity. Noise as connection. And so we fill every gap, every pause, every quiet moment with something: music, podcasts, news, scrolling, thinking, planning. Freedom is not getting what you want. It is loosening the grip on the need to fill every moment with sound. The Buddha often retreated into silence. He would sit beneath trees, alone, not speaking, not seeking, just being. And his students would ask him, "What are you doing in the silence?" And he would say, "I am listening, not to the world, to what is beneath the world." There is an old teaching that says the mind is like a jar of muddy water. When you shake it, when you stir it constantly, the water stays clouded and you cannot see through it. But if you set the jar down and let it be still, the mud settles, the water clears, and you can finally see what was there all along. You may not have been told this. Your intuition has not disappeared. Your inner guidance has not abandoned you. It is still there, still speaking, still trying to reach you. But it speaks in whispers, not shouts. It speaks in feelings, in subtle knowings, in the quiet sense of yes or no that arises when you are still enough to notice it. Think of silence as a doorway. On one side is the world with all its demands and distractions. On the other side is you, the part of you that knows what you need, that understands what matters. You do not need to walk through that doorway and stay there forever. You only need to visit. A few minutes each morning. So tomorrow, before the day begins, before you reach for your phone or start planning, give yourself the gift of silence. Sit or lie quietly where you are. Close your eyes if it helps, and do nothing. Let the thoughts come, they will come, but do not follow them. Let them pass like clouds across the sky. What if the answers you are searching for are not out there in the noise, but in here, in the silence you have been avoiding? 10. Remember why you are here, to live kindly. You stand in the kitchen in the soft morning light, preparing for the day ahead. And somewhere in the back of your mind, there is a question you may not have asked in a long time. Why are you here? Not here in this kitchen, but here in this life. What is the point of all of it? The waking, the working, the striving, the endless effort to keep everything together? And if you are honest, the answers that come are often small and tired. To get through the day, to meet the expectations, to not fall behind, to survive. These answers are not wrong, exactly, but they are not enough. Because somewhere beneath the survival, beneath the obligations, there is a deeper reason you are alive. A reason so simple that the world has taught you to overlook it. You are here to live kindly. That is all. And that is everything. We have been taught to measure our worth by what we accomplish, by how much we produce, by how well we perform. And in that measuring, kindness begins to feel optional, even naive. But kindness is not weakness. It is not passivity or avoidance. Kindness is wisdom made visible. It is the recognition that you and every person you meet are struggling in ways you cannot fully see, that everyone is carrying something heavy. The Buddha taught that hatred never ceases by hatred, but by love alone. And he was not speaking of grand gestures or dramatic transformations. He was speaking of the small, daily choices. The moment you soften your voice instead of raising it, the moment you forgive yourself for being imperfect instead of punishing yourself, the moment you choose not to return cruelty with cruelty, but to meet it with steadiness and care. There is a story of an old woman who lived in a village and was known for her gentleness. One day, a young man asked her, "Why are you kind to everyone, even the people who are unkind to you? Do they not take advantage of your softness?" The woman smiled and said, "I am kind because I do not want to live in a hard heart. I do not want to become the person who meets every difficulty with bitterness, who hoards warmth only for those who deserve it. I am kind because it is the only way I know to stay human." The young man said, "But what if no one notices?" And the woman replied, "Then I will notice. And that will be enough." What people often overlook is this: you do not need a reason to be kind. You do not need to wait until you have achieved enough, healed enough, succeeded enough to begin treating yourself and others with care. Kindness is not a reward you earn. It is a way of being you choose, again and again, in the smallest and most ordinary moments. Think of kindness as a flame. In a world full of cold and noise and difficulty, you carry this small light. And it is easy to believe that your flame does not matter, that it is too small to make any difference. But your flame is not for the whole world. It is for the small circle of warmth around you. The person who needed one kind word today and received it from you. The part of yourself that needed forgiveness and finally heard it. The moment that could have been hard but became soft because you chose differently. So this morning, before the day pulls you into its demands, take one quiet breath and remember, you are here to live kindly, to yourself first, and then to the world. Not because it will be noticed, not because it will be rewarded, but because it is the only way to live that does not harden you. What if kindness is not something extra you add to your life, but the very foundation of a life well lived? Closing, a quiet landing. You are still here. The morning has not yet begun, or perhaps it already has, and you are listening in the quiet spaces between one thing and the next. Either way, you are here now, and that is enough. You do not need to practice all 10 of these rituals. You do not need to practice any of them perfectly. You do not need to transform your entire morning or become someone new by tomorrow. Simply begin again. That is all the practice ever asks of you, to begin again, gently, without judgment, without the weight of expectation. Happiness is not something waiting for you in the future, not something you will finally reach once you have fixed yourself or optimized your routine. Happiness is shaped quietly, morning by morning, in the small gestures. No one else sees the way you breathe before reaching for the phone, the way you place your hand on your own chest and offer yourself kindness, the way you choose presence over noise, slowness over urgency, tenderness over control. If something here has settled inside you, if there is one word or one breath or one moment that feels true, you might leave it in the comments, not for me, but as a quiet marker for yourself, a way of saying, I was here, I listened, I am choosing this. And if you need to return to this video on a morning when you feel yourself drifting, when the noise is louder than your own voice, please do. It will be here, waiting quietly, like a door left open. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are simply learning, again and again, to live gently. And that is the whole practice. Breathe once more, and begin again tomorrow.